The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, I'm Tiffany Thomas with the Oracle Applications and Technology Users Group. Welcome everyone to today's Emerging Leaders e-learning session titled Grow as a Professional and Leader with the OATUG Emerging Leaders. Before we get started, I would like to go over a couple housekeeping items. You'll be on mute throughout the presentation. If you would like to ask a question, please type your question to the question box in your control panel at any time. Once the presentation has concluded, I'll read back the questions so the presenter can respond. We are recording this session and it will be available on the OATUG website later today. I would like to now turn it over to Russell DeLeon, OATUG Emerging Leaders Chair. Take it away, Russell.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you all for joining today. Before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. This is a quote from Jack Welch. Jack Welch is an American business executive, author, and a chemical engineer. You probably know him better as the chairman and CEO of General Electric between 1981 and 2001. As Stephen said, this is the Grow as Professional and Leader with OATUG Emerging Leaders webinar. My name is Russell DeLeon. I'm the Business Systems Analyst at the College of American Pathologists. Welcome. This will be our agenda for today. I'm going to quickly go through my bio. I'm going to go through our company overview, and then we'll dive right into the OATUG Emerging Leaders, who we are, what we do, and how to participate. And then we'll talk a lot regarding the mentor program that we have, the program information. We're going to go through the program process and how to become a mentor and a mentee. And then we'll touch on the women technology. And then towards the end, we'll have a summary and then a question and answer session. So this is me, again, Business Systems Analyst with the College of American Pathologists. Currently, I serve as an ISO administrator and a subject matter expert in the Oracle Order Management family, as Oracle calls it now. Basically, it's the supply chain modules. We talk about order management, quoting, advanced pricing, bill of materials, a little bit of receivables, and obviously the iStore module as well. I've been in this role, or at least in the exposure of the Oracle e-business suite arena for 18 years now. I've been in the organization for about 23 plus years as a functional user. My exposure with Oracle e-business suite is from release 10.3 to currently 12.1.3. 12.1.3, that's correct. And I currently chair the OATUG Emerging Leaders and had multiple speaking engagements from Open World to Collaborate sessions to our local NC-OAUG, and then obviously this webinar. Here's our company overview, College of American Pathologists, established in 1946. The College of American Pathologists, short for CAP, is the leading organization for board-certified pathologists and serves patients, pathologists, and the public through membership, learning, advocacy, and laboratory improvement programs and services. As you see here, we have about 638 staff members, and this is from a couple years ago. These are probably grown now. We are located in the Chicagoland area, specifically Northfield, which geographically, this is in Illinois, which geographically about maybe 20 miles, 25 miles north of Chicago, 30, 45-minute drive from Chicago. We also have a satellite office in the Washington, D.C. The CAP nearly has 18,000 physician members. CAP members are board-certified pathologists who use laboratory medicine to identify and diagnose diseases. The CAP's Laboratory Improvement Program, as you can see here, initiated in 1949, currently has customers in more than 100 countries, accrediting more than 8,000 laboratories and providing proficiency testing to over 22,000 laboratories worldwide. As mentioned, we have various initiatives and programs like our learning program with 675 live and online courses combined, where we offer CME and CE credits, as you can see in the slide. Our foundation program that gives leadership awards to very deserving medical students. In addition, via the See, Test, and Treat program offers free cancer screening and health education programs on breast cancer and cervical cancer. And last but certainly not the least, as you can see again in the slide, we do have numerous advocacy initiatives as well. So let's talk about who are the OATUG Emerging Leaders, who we are. We were formerly called the Young Professionals Group. It was formed and established about 3 years ago. And early last year, we officially formed the group as a committee under OATUG, now called the Emerging Leaders Group. The group is focused or composed of OATUG volunteers and users that, in my opinion, are very skilled. These individuals are very dedicated, fun-loving, at the same time are very willing to offer guidance and support, and they do provide a lot of time and hours so that we could move forward with all our initiatives. The Emerging Leaders Group, in essence, has one common goal, and that is we are focused on helping you. It's all about the users, and this is why we're having this webinar today. With the Emerging Leaders Group, you can get your career started with us. We have different and multiple initiatives and programs focusing on guiding and assisting users like you in areas such as networking, career aspiration, if you want to transition your role from a business user to become executive or higher, or to become a new manager in that regard, or just general professional development guidance in the application of technology space, this is the right group for you. In the next few minutes or few slides, I will be providing much needed information about these initiatives and programs. While you're getting your career started with us, by participating in various events, you can get the chance to meet people, share ideas, and gather information, and this is how you build your network. So you could build your professional network with the Emerging Leaders Group. You can share information, tips and tricks on various processes or applications or modules, and many, many others. As you all know, building your professional network is a key ingredient in a successful career, especially in this industry that we're at. So you can get your career started with us, you can build your professional network with us, you can also stay up to date in the community. There's other things that we're going to be talking about later on, but you'll get the chance to update yourself with the new trends, hot topics, and what's going on. So once you get your career started, then obviously you'll be able to build your network, stay up to date in the community. As a result, you'll then able to receive and share helpful information. So now that I've shared who we are and what we do, let me tell you how you can participate in the Emerging Leaders, and there's a variety of ways. Simply go to the Emerging Leaders LinkedIn page, and you can request to be added to the group. As mentioned in previous slide about staying up to date in the community, well, this is one of them, being involved in a webinar like this, an educational webinar like this. The Emerging Leaders Group intent is to have a webinar at least every other month. And these, we've had these webinars in the past as well, and there are different topics that we can cover. And you may ask, what are those topics? Well, that's going to be coming from users. That's going to be coming from you. You let us know what you want to discuss or to talk about as far as a webinar. We'll then find someone that can do the webinar, and then we could move on from there. So we will want to get recommendations. We will want to get feedback from the users so that we could pursue that webinar. How to do this? You could just go to the Emerging Leaders webpage. There's a link out there that can completely fill out a survey, and then you could let us know what you want. So again, it could be from being an effective presenter to being new in IT and transitioning to a managerial position. It could be technology-based. It could be the fact that you are an expert in order management at this time. However, you want to be informed of what financial modules are in Oracle, such as fixed assets or receivables, and so on and so forth. So there's ways that you could do. The other thing that's hot out there right now, as we all know, is the cloud technology. So maybe that's one thing that we want to pursue. And in fact, that's probably just watch out for this, but that's probably our next webinar. We're still kind of working out the details on that, but that may be another topic that we could present. Collaborate conferences. You could also participate with us. You could talk to us directly during Collaborate conferences. There's a variety of ways that you can participate through that. And in fact, this particular webinar, this particular topic, I did put this out there as a presentation materials. I did talk about this during our Turbo Talk. So there's lots of ways that you can participate. There are sessions that we have had at the conference as well, related to emerging leaders, related to growing you as a professional. And some of those sessions that we've had, again, all related to professional growth and development sessions, topics such as evolving your role as a DVA, how to become an effective manager, accelerating your professional growth. And again, these are just samples of the sessions that we just had at the conference. The other thing that we got going on at the conference, we had the cocktail meetup for the Emerging Leaders Group. And in my opinion, this last conference, the cocktail meetup was a successful get-together. There were a lot of people that attended. I noticed and seen and witnessed exchange of information, definitely lots of networking, a lot of collaboration, get a chance to help people connect in terms of what they need, in terms of what they're looking for. So definitely that's another way to participate with the Emerging Leaders Group. Just a teaser here, and I don't want to disclose a lot of details, but I've heard, and we're always looking for ways to make these type of sessions, these type of events for emerging leaders to be more fun and interactive and exciting. Definitely for the next conference, and Tiffany already planned this out, but no details will be released in this webinar, but it's definitely going to be fun. Our cocktail meetup for Collaborate 2020 will definitely be more exciting and more fun. So watch out for that, and that's my plug to attend Collaborate for next year. In addition, there are leadership and volunteer opportunities that you can take advantage of. I'll be talking about the mentor program in the next few minutes here, but that's one thing that you can get engaged and how to participate with the Emerging Leaders Group. We're always looking for volunteer mentors in that regard. We're also looking for leadership roles. We want to expand our committee. There are initiatives, like I said, and programs that we want to pursue, and we want to make sure that those initiatives and programs are successful. So we're always looking for volunteers that could help us perhaps move forward and support those initiatives and programs. And then lastly, the mentor program. I think for us, this is the latest craze for the Emerging Leaders Group that what we got going on right now. So this is one of the hot topics, if I may. So if you'll allow me, I'll transition and talk more about the mentor program. The mentor program is an opportunity for young and new professionals to guide their professional and career goals. In my opinion, really, the mentor program is the epitome of what the Emerging Leaders Committee is all about. This is what we're all about. It's all about helping people. It's all about connecting people, providing guidance and suggestions, and so on and so forth. If you allow me to say a little story about myself, like I said in the introduction, I've been in the Oracle arena as a business functional user for 18 plus years now. And back that time, if we would have been an emerging leader, if we would have had an Emerging Leaders Group or young professionals, specifically this mentor program, I'd like to say that by this time I would have been in a much better position from a career standpoint. I'm not saying that I am not now. However, I think there'll be more positive and be more great outcome from a career standpoint. So that's why, as a chair of the Emerging Leaders Group, I am very committed and very supportive of this program. So what's going to happen with this mentor program? What's going on? What's the detail? Mentees will be matched with volunteer mentors that will help them set goals in areas such as, again, networking, career aspiration, if you want to transition your career from just becoming a user to becoming a manager, or just in general kind of guidance in the development of your career from an application or technology standpoint. This is a good program for you. Excuse me. being in a mentor program can be a very rewarding experience. So obviously, we have to have a mentor and a mentee. Mentoring can only be successful if there's a reciprocal and comfortable relationship between the mentor and mentee. So obviously, there should be two individuals involved, the mentor, volunteer mentor, and then the mentee. Both parties need to make it work, to make it successful by being open-minded and respectful in fulfilling the expectations that had set for the program. Ideally, the mentoring relationship will be mutually beneficial, and we'll walk through the benefits of this later on in this presentation. For now, let me provide you with more information about the mentoring program. So here's the information about the mentor program. This was launched at last year's Collaborate Conference, so it's about over a year now. So far, so good. To date, we paired up 4 mentees and 4 mentors. The latest one actually just happened last week, so it's a very exciting time. I believe, and Tiffany will correct me on this one later on, but I believe we do have currently about 3 more mentees and mentors that we're working on to pair. And as with other Oracle users and applications, these individuals come from different places. There are individuals from the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and I think there's even one from Canada. So it's very cool, it's very exciting. This program is exclusively for OATUG members or current students. So for those listening right now, if you're not an OATUG member, highly encourage you to be a member. There are tons of benefit that you'll get to becoming a member, not only to be part of this cool emerging leaders group, if I may, but also having great benefits of being a member of the OATUG. The mentor program is initiated by the emerging leaders community members, and we'll discuss this also in great details as we go along. And then I just want to highlight and put an emphasis more on this formula of mentor plus mentee equals success. Obviously, like I said earlier, this is not going to be successful without that relationship. Mentor program can be very rewarding experience, but the program can only be successful if there's good, fruitful, symbiotic relationship. So that connection, that relationship need to exist in a very, very tight manner. As such, there should be a mutual agreement in all facets of the program. And what I mean by that, even as simple as the housekeeping rules that you guys have to set in place, like timing, occurrence, date, et cetera, how can you be connected? Is it better off by phone or face-to-face or video call, whatever the case may be? Again, these are just simple things that the program needs to adhere to in order for it to be successful. So on the same token, there needs to be goals, expectations that need to be established. What are those expectations, you may ask? Well, it's as simple as a mentee or a volunteer or a sign-up individual user can establish a goal that's beyond the reach of the mentor, like achieving a certification, say, for instance. That can be unfair to a mentor. Also, expected for the mentor, it's not expected for the mentor to give you your dream job. So say, for instance, the program successfully completed and you are able to move on. It's not the expectation also for the mentor to give you, hey, there's this, you're going to get the job now and you're good to go. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. However, though, the volunteer mentor can help you provide countless guidance and numerous feedback, suggestions, clear directions based on countless and years of experience and service in using his or her own role or the application itself. Again, this going back to the example I provided earlier last week, this individual has been in the management role in the IT arena for, I think, a combined 25 plus years. And this individual, who's a mentee, wanted to become currently a hands-on IT person and wanted to transition and get a role from a management standpoint. And so we thought that they were very, very good together. So again, this formula I've mentioned about the mentor and mentee to become a successful program, there's the mutual agreement, mutual respect between the two. From a mentee's perspective, there are learn or work lessons that they need to be adhered to or to hear it from the mentor. Sometimes it could be a life lessons that needs to be shared coming from a mentor. The mentee is also expected to get insights on strengths and weaknesses from the mentor. The mentor should be able to share that so that the mentee can take that on in terms of her daily workload or his daily workload. Learn from mistakes of mentor so that they could use that also in their day-to-day lives to avoid those kind of mistakes. And the mentee should also be willing to receive constructive criticism in that regard. So if, again, this example that I provided earlier, if this individual has countless years of experience and this mentee is trying to do this, the mentor could easily say, hey, I strongly discourage you to do that because this, and this. So that's going to work. On the flip side, as a mentor, the mentor shouldn't be afraid also to say that if they don't have that information, they can just easily say, you know what, I don't have that. However, I know someone or I know a resource for you that they get into, whether it's reading books or referring to a white paper online or any other resources that's available out there. But again, it's that openness and direct communication between the mentor and mentee. Obviously, there should be established relationship between the mentee and mentor also, sharing experiences and ideas and feedback. Mentor should also guide, but not to do things for the mentee. The mentor should nurture the talent and challenge the mentee to be the very best that mentee can be. So again, these are just information about the mentor and mentee. So I think I talked about some information, but let me also talk about the benefits of the mentors and the mentees, or at least in this program. And again, it's part of this formula that I said about the mentor plus the mentee equals success. I think it's obvious that the mentee has great benefits as a result of this. They are actually the recipient of these benefits, if I may. At the end, the fact that the mentee has set up goals will be able to accomplish that, and hopefully they could use these things that they've gathered from this mentor program to be much better in pursuing their career aspirations. But on the flip side, what's the benefit of being a volunteer mentor? Well, there's actually tons. The mentor can develop a meaningful connection with a new professional or a mentee that's basically just starting their career, and just to get that rapport. The mentor could also utilize and expand the professional network in that regard. So having that connection, as I said earlier, right, building that network is a key ingredient in having a successful career. The mentor is also able to refine his or her professional mentoring and coaching skills. So if this was your role, you were a trainer back, say, 10, 20 years ago, maybe with the next generation, it's a different type of coaching now. It's a different type of approach, different kind of mentoring strategy that you can do now. So you can learn from those as a mentor. Then obviously from a learning standpoint, the mentor can also learn more about the next generation of professional individuals, as well as the challenges they are facing with. So it may be a different arena or topic or issues that we've experienced as a mentor back when we were still kind of developing our career, compared to how the next generation of Oracle users now. There's just different things that's happening at this time. And then obviously, as a mentor, you'll be able to provide your experiences so that the mentees can be guided in terms of their challenges. So I hope by now I provide you enough information about the mentor program. So let's talk about the program process. At first, we receive the application, and this is then reviewed as a committee. We review this application. We review mentees, submissions, and as well as some mentors. We'll talk about later on how the how piece of this application process and whatnot, but I'm just going to talk in general about the mentor program process. Like I said, applications received and reviewed. And then there's the actual mentee and mentor pairing review process. So the Emerging Leaders Committee will look at those individuals, will take into account the mentee goal, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish, where they're from, their role, et cetera, and then we turn around and we look at available mentors that we have and say, okay, hey, this individual is a good partner for this individual, taking into account the goal that was submitted by the mentee, that should match the experiences that the mentor have in order for it to work this together. In addition to that, location is also a factor. We want to make sure that time zones work perfectly for them. And then other various considerations as well. And then the next step is then the Emerging Leaders Committee members contact the mentee and mentor. So once this is done, once we think that this is a good fit, we'll engage and we'll try to talk to the mentee individually, and separately, we'll also talk to the mentors individually as well. And the reason why we want to do that is more to gauge kind of like the involvement, kind of like the Emerging Leaders Committee trying to get to know you even better. Are you really serious in, you know, making sure that as a mentee you want to pursue this goal and you really want to be developed to become a manager, et cetera, et cetera. And then on the same token, we pursue that same background or information with the mentor. And again, just to kind of establish that relationship and that rapport, if I may. So once we gather all that and we think that everything is good, we then connect the mentee and mentor together. There's actually a layer as part of this process. What we do is, as I call it, the one over approval. And just give an example, say for instance, we match it together. I challenge myself, if I may, and have someone within the committee, as an example in here, Tiffany, and say, hey, Tiffany, I think person A as a mentee is a good match for person B as a mentor. And this is because it's this and that. Can you check and make sure that that's what I'm thinking is right? And then Tiffany says, okay, yeah, it's good to go. So it's not only an individual, it's not only based on what we see, but we also collaborate in that regards to ensure that we're really doing this right. And again, it's all about making this program a success. So once we connect the mentee and mentor, we validate everything, then they'll be on their own. In the next slide here, we'll talk about kind of like timelines and whatnot. But once we connect the mentee and mentor together, along the lines, you know, we'll check in. We're just gonna say, hey, how things are going. We'll touch base just to make sure everything is still in line with what you guys are trying to accomplish. You know, if anything, just to make sure that everything is working. And then at the end, we ask that if this would have been completed, we ask that the individuals, the mentee and mentors, provide program feedback to us. Like I said, this was just launched over a year ago, and although we paired out good numbers already, the fact that it's new, we're always looking to learn. We're always looking to improve, and so we want to get those feedback, good or bad. We want to hear it. That way we can improve on this particular program, and again, it's all for the success of the program, which eventually will benefit the users. So here's a sample discussion timeline. And again, this is just a high-level example of when do we want to establish the program. So again, session one, like I said earlier in the previous slide, it's basically kind of connecting the mentee and mentor. We're going to go through a quick program orientation, what is it all about, setting expectations, and so on and so forth, kind of get to know each other. Which leads us to session two, the getting to know each other. In essence, this is when we start releasing, if I may, the mentee and mentors together so that they can establish their relationship. In this session, expectations for the relationship established. There are going to be conversations about goals, deep dive, you know, investigation or what else that can be done, strategies in accomplishing those goals, establishing future meetings, planning, what's the best way that we can connect to each other, even a little bit of the personal side. Again, so you're going to establish that good relationship, that rapport, even as simple as, you know, what are the books that you've read lately, you know, favorite movies, that kind of stuff. So that way you get to know really each other. Session 3 and 4, it kind of goes to like that deep, really working on satisfying the goals, what we're exactly trying to do, providing specific guidelines from mentor to mentee, again, tips and tricks, providing resources, providing constructive criticism, if I may. So whatever the things that need to be done in order for the goals of the Mentee to be accomplished. And like I said, depending on the goal in itself and the duration that you've established, like I said, we'll check in once in a while and say, hey, how things are going. Within this timeline, individually as a mentor and as a mentee, if you guys are sensing that this is not working and you wanted some more, or for some reason time is a factor, there's projects that this mentor just all of a sudden have been involved with, then send us an email. You could shoot an email to Tiffany or to myself and say, hey, this seems to be working. Can we revisit this? So we can continue the discussion, check progress, identify any difficulties and obstacles and pitfalls so that we can overcome and address that. If not, then obviously we can just move forward and hopefully it's going to be a successful outcome. So again, this is just a high-level sample timeline. It could go up to session 10, it could go up to session 12, whatever the case may be, but at least you get a feel of what are the events, when they should happen, what should be happening, and what should be done. So I've been raving about the mentor program the last few minutes, and I'm going to take a pause here real quick to see if there's any question that you guys want to ask. If not, I'd like to transition on how to become a mentee and mentor.
Russell, there aren't any questions currently.
Thank you. So how to become a mentee, a mentor? It's very simple. Really, it's just go into our website, OATUG Education Events Emerging Leaders, just search for us, and there's a brief survey. It's not a survey, it's a questionnaire, and this survey or questionnaire really kind of provide us in terms of if it's a mentee, what are you looking for, what's your current role, a little bit of your experiences and what you're trying to accomplish. And then as a volunteer mentor, your background, your experiences, anything that would help us so that we could put mentor and mentee together. So just those 2 steps really, and then from that point on, you will then be able to meet with Emerging Leaders Committee members. We will reach out to you individually as stated previously, and then we can connect you and go through the process. And then once that's done, then we'll be able to then connect you with a mentor or a mentee, and then you'll be able to be released and on your own and kind of develop that relationship, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a simple process on how to become a mentee and mentor. I'd like to transition now to the women in technology. The OATUG Emerging Leaders also collaborates and works with the Women in Technology group. The OATUG, as stated here, gives Women in Technology Award to an outstanding user working in the technology and our application space for 10 years or less, as well as contributions to the user community. Pardon that word there. Well, obviously it makes sense. Her contributions to the user community. We inaugurated this award this past Collaborate at Collaborate 19, and the recipient was given a pre-pass to the conference. This award was based on the user's extensive experience working in business analytics and reporting. The recipient also has extensive experience working in various data visualization projects that help businesses to use their data and make informed decisions. The awardee uses a combination of training, a comprehensive communication strategy, and the user-centered features and designs to help actively spread awareness about technology in her organization and in the community. I think the last word there is key in here as well, not only within her organization, but also within the community, the user community. And it's a great pleasure to make you aware that the awardee for this year was Asta Patney from Consultant with Performance Architects Incorporated. So she was the awardee of the Women's in Technology group this past Collaborate. So we're going to the end now. In summary, the OATUG Emerging Leaders Committee is here to help. Used us We'll guide you. We provide education. We connect users. We try to build your network. We bridge the gap between a user's profession into the industry while becoming a guiding light in developing and advancing users' careers. So it's all about the users, but we are here to provide the tools that you need, such as our initiatives and programs, webinars, mentoring program, in order for your career to be advanced at the next level, or in order for you to educate yourself further. So it's all about the users. And to use the theme from Collaborate last year, OATUG Emerging Leaders Committee is here to illuminate your career path. So we are here for you. At this time, I want to open up the floor for any questions that you may have, but I'd also like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for joining this webinar. You have my email address in there as well. After this session, if you have any questions or want additional information, feel free to shoot me an email. Otherwise, I'd like to open up the floor. Tiffany, is there any question out there?
Thank you so much, Russell, for a fantastic presentation. Currently, there aren't any questions that have come in, but if you have any questions, please type those questions in the question box, which is located at the bottom of the control panel. Oh, we have a question. It says, currently, do you have any county government in this group? And I'm thinking they're asking about the mentoring program. Whoever asked that question, could you provide some clarification?
So can you rephrase that question again?
Yes. Do you have any county government in this group?
Based on the listing, so again, if it's related to the individuals or volunteers or users that sign up for the mentoring program, I have to go back to see if we have one on the list. Yeah, I can't recall at this time. Tiffany, do you?
Actually, I think we may have one mentor that works for the county or in the government arena currently. And so, yes, they did clarify. They're referring to just the group, the Emerging Leaders group, or the Mentee program.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't think we have one for the Emerging Leaders group, but the mentor program, I believe, like you said, we do have a mentor that's in that arena. And the mentor program, like I said earlier, it's open as long as you're as long as you're a member of the Oracle Applications Technology and Users Group, you're able to sign up and participate and take advantage of the program.
We do have another question. The next question that's come in, do you have any group, do you have any programs for startups?
We currently don't have a program for startup, but the fact that's a question being asked, again, we can certainly pursue that avenue in that regards. And this webinar here kind of stands out in that regards because we have the program, we made it official, but there's a lot of individuals kind of are unaware of what are the steps in terms of becoming a mentor and becoming a mentee. And to this day, in regards to the question, that could be a webinar topic or another avenue that we can pursue so that we can present it. But short answer is no, we currently don't have it.
Great. Thank you so much. We don't have any other questions that have come in through the question box, but we'll wait another minute to see if any questions come in. All right, here's one. What qualifications does an individual need to meet in order to be a mentor and or mentee?
That's a great question. So we're always looking for volunteers. The fact of the matter is we're establishing this, and we're actually starting seeing this now. We're seeing more mentees signing up compared to mentors. This is wide open. So if you have experiences in the technology space in a given arena, if you're a director, if you're in the management role, it's wide open in that regard. There's not really a specific resume per se of being a mentor. However, if you think that you are an experienced user of, for instance, you've been presenting for 10 years now, and that's a good background for you, and there's a mentee that wanted to be mentored with regards to how can he or she a better speaker. So we have you as our resource, and then we could connect you to that individual. So as long as you'll be able to, I think the first step is to direct you to the mentor program, provide background information for you, provide the experiences that you have, and then we'll be able to connect with you and talk to you and kind of gauge, what you're trying to accomplish as a mentor and what arena do you want it to be more focused on in that regards. That way we have you in our records.
Great, thanks, Russell. There's another question that came in. Do you have any network groups where the user companies and startup companies can collaborate?
Right off the bat, no. It's as the OATUG Emerging Leaders, I think we can use this as the channel, if I may, to pursue those avenues. Again, maybe we can. It's kind of almost related to that question earlier as far as a startup group, right? So maybe that's another avenue that we can pursue. So we currently have the webinars where we educate users on every other month basis regarding various topics. We have a mentor program, perhaps as an emerging leaders group also, that could be another venue that we can pursue in that regards, but not at this time. There are other user groups out there. There are other SIG groups out there too as well, depending on the topic. I believe on my part, I'm part of the order management SIG group. I'm also part of the advanced pricing group. I'm not sure if that's kind of like the direction of the question, but in regards to emerging leaders, we don't have anything specific from a startup standpoint.
Yeah, and if it's okay, I'd like to add to that as well. Like you mentioned, Russell, there are a lot of Geo and SIG groups, specifically SIGs that are have a special interest, a product or technology space, and then we have our Geos, and they have pop-up events. In various areas of the country that you can go and connect and collaborate with both users and startup companies. So that is an option. And if you're interested in that, you just visit the OATUG website and go to the user communities. All right, we have another question. Is there a place where we can go to apply for either a mentee or mentee? Is there the URL? Do you have an URL?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. So this right here. So yeah, go to the OATUG website under education and events, and you'll see emerging leaders. There's then a link that will then take you to a questionnaire or a survey that you can populate. Basically, obviously your name, your role, and then a description. I think in there too, there's a drop down that would tell you, do you want to sign up for a mentee or a mentor? And then from there, it's going to provide you with more fields that you can populate so that we could use that to then call you or partner you accordingly.
Great. A lot of good questions coming in. Next.
Very good questions. Yes, agree.
Very good questions. Will you share this slide deck? So yes, we will be uploading the recording as well as the slide deck to the OATUG website in the Emerging Leader or on the Emerging Leader webpage. at the end of today. So yes, it will be available.
Yeah, and in addition to that, in fact, again, I'm a big proponent of again, our initiative is an Emerging Leaders Group, things that we're trying to accomplish. I believe collectively, we also have previous webinars parked in that site as well. That way you could use that as a reference. And like I said, what we're trying to accomplish is, as much as possible, provide all this necessary information for the users. It's all for you guys. And there's various topics, there's different things as far as, it could be, like I said, cloud related. I think we did planning and budgeting topic at one point. So yeah, there's tons of information and resources that's available for you as users that's out there, and it's under the Emerging Leaders page as well.
All right. That is the last question that has come in. But again, if you all have any questions after this presentation, please feel free to contact Russell. His contact information is located on the screen. As you can tell, he's so passionate about the Emerging Leader Program that he will be ecstatic to get an email from you, and he'll quickly get back to you. But before we conclude, Russell, is there any last minute comments or anything else that you would like to share with attendees?
No, just to say that, again, thanking them for participating in this webinar. But note that the OATUG Emerging Leaders Committee is here to help. We are here for you as users. I'm going to plug that we're always looking for volunteers, whether in the leadership role or as a mentor. And then obviously this mentor program, like Tiffany said, I'm very passionate about. So by all means, sign up. So I strongly encourage you to go out there, and hopefully you'll be able to sign up. So thank you once again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much again, Russell. And thank you again, everyone who attended today. This concludes another Emerging Leader webinar, which was great. Again, everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.